Are you trying to buy your first rental property or trying to figure out how to get started investing, but when you look at your bank account, you don't have much money to work with? Well, in today's video, I'm going to go over how I get started investing in real estate if I was going to do it all over again and start from scratch without any money. And hopefully in the process help you buy your very first rental property as well. Hi, I'm Sully and welcome to my YouTube channel where I bring all the best tips and tricks to help you get started in your real estate investing journey. I'm a 25-year-old real estate investor and currently own 39 rental units out of state in Ohio and in Georgia. So if you are a seasoned real estate investor or just a rookie looking to get started, you have come to the right place. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this, and follow me on Instagram at Lattes and Lisas. So let's dive in. Maybe you are sitting in your cubicle watching this YouTube video, dreaming about quitting your job. Maybe you're dreaming about spending more time with your family or traveling across the country whenever you want without having to ask permission. Real estate investing can definitely pave the way to achieving those goals. But let me guess, there's one obstacle in your way. You have no money and no idea how to get started. So today's video is dedicated to helping you solve that problem. I'm going to be sharing several strategies for building your real estate portfolio from scratch, even if you have zero money to get started investing in real estate. So with these tips, you can finally get your first rental property under contract and begin your journey toward financial freedom through real estate. So as you know, real estate investing can be a really great way to build wealth over time, but it can be challenging if you have no money and don't know where to start. This is one of the biggest hurdles investors have when they get started. So if you're going through this, you are definitely not alone. So the first thing that I would do if I was starting from scratch with $0 would be to take an honest, hard look at my lifestyle and my spending habits and look for ways that I can cut down on expenses, save more money, and also increase my income. So if you don't have any money, there's probably a reason for it. No judgment, it's all good, but here are a few of my top favorite tips. So first, you're gonna want to create a budget. I know budgets aren't super fun, but the first step to saving money is actually knowing where your money is going. So I create a budget that tracks down all my expenses and all my income that's coming in, and better yet, you can do this automatically with an app like Mint or Personal Capital. I personally like to use Mint because I like the way it looks. But that way I can just automatically track all my monthly spending. And then I put on an event on my calendar every week, a money date with me, so I can go over my budget and see where my money is going. This is going to create awareness. Awareness is key in creating and sticking to a budget that you can actually work with, and also identifying areas where you can then reduce spending. So next, you're going to want to set a savings goal. You'll have to decide how much money you would need to start investing in real estate. So knowing the target that you'd have to hit for a down payment is really helpful. If you're going the traditional route, you need about 3.5 to 5% down for an owner-occupied home loan. If you're doing an investment property, you'd probably need around 20 to 25% down. We're gonna go over some creative strategies with $0 down, but if you wanted to go the conventional route, I'd recommend saving up that way. So you'd work backward from the total amount that you need for the down payment and break that down into monthly or even weekly savings goals. All right, the next step is to cut back on unnecessary expenses. Another step I take is when starting from zero is to basically take a hard look at my expenses and see where I can cut back on some of that spending. I know it's not gonna be super fun. It might mean, eating out a little bit less, maybe getting more simple dinners or cooking at home instead of going out to your favorite sushi restaurant. You might have to cancel subscriptions that you don't use very often or find ways to save on rent or utilities. Maybe, you get a paid off car instead of getting an expensive car payment. There are some really great apps too that you can use to sign up for, and they'll kind of track your subscriptions and unsubscribe you from any unused subscriptions. I think it's called Rocket Money if you've used that. And so make sure you can take a look at all of these options. Lastly, I think the most important thing that you can do for your financial health is also look at ways where you can increase your income, such as taking a part-time job or starting a side hustle. You can only decrease your expenses so much, and usually it's not very fun to cut all of your spending out. So if you can work on ways to increase your income, it's usually a little bit easier and a little bit more enjoyable. Any extra income I made would then be put towards my savings to buy real estate and help me reach my savings goals a little bit faster. I like to put my money into something like a high yield savings account to get a little bit higher interest instead of just putting it into a traditional savings account. So these are just the basics of personal finance, but let me know if you've been successful in implementing any of these tips in your life and write them down in the comment section below. So now that we've made it through some of the more obvious but vitally important aspects of personal finance and real estate, let's take a look at some more fun, creative ways that I'd look into getting started investing in real estate if I was starting from scratch. When I bought my first property, I was diligently saving my money, I was increasing my income, I was cutting expenses just like we talked about, but it still took me, I think, 3 years to save up enough money for that first property. I don't regret doing it this way because it taught me a lot, but I really wish I knew a little bit more about creative strategies for investing in real estate so I didn't have to wait so long. So that's why the second biggest move I'd make if I was getting started investing from scratch would be to educate myself on creative financing strategies for real estate. So creative financing refers basically to the alternative ways of financing a real estate investment beyond the traditional methods of bank loans and cash purchases. For new real estate investors who don't have much money to start with, creative financing strategies like seller financing can be an absolute game changer and something that I would look into if I was starting to get started without using much money. By using creative financing techniques, you can find ways to invest in properties with literally $0 down or just very low down payments, which is really helpful. So with these tips, you can finally get your first rental property under contract and begin your journey toward financial freedom through real estate. First is seller financing. I think this is the most common and popular creative financing strategy that people think about, but it's basically a strategy where the seller of the property acts as a lender, aka the bank, and finances the purchase of the property for you, so you don't have to go to a traditional bank. The buyer, you, make payments to the seller over time, just like with a traditional mortgage, but instead of obtaining a loan from a bank or another financial institution, you would then just get it from the seller. So for new investors who don't have a lot of money to invest, seller finance can be a really awesome option because it allows you to acquire a property without having to come up with a significant down payment. Again, it's all negotiable, or qualify for a traditional mortgage, which can be huge. One of the major benefits of a seller financing is that it offers much more flexibility than traditional financing options. The terms of the loan are completely negotiable between you and the seller. So you can customize your repayment terms, your interest rates, and honestly, any other conditions can be all negotiated. So I often get asked with these more creative strategies why a seller would be potentially interested in seller financing. It actually can be a win-win situation for both of you guys. So the benefit to the seller is receiving a steady stream of income over time, and also not having to pay that big capital gains tax by selling their property. Since they're getting it over an increment amount of time, they don't have to pay one lump sum of taxes, which is honestly probably one of the biggest motivations for sellers to seller finance their properties. I recently seller financed an office building in Augusta, Georgia. We purchased it for $400,000 and put 20% down. So that's kind of in line with more conventional loans, the percentage wise, but I've seen smaller or $0, 0% down payments as well. So this is just really a negotiable part of the deal. So the seller became the bank and we agreed to 5.5% interest rates. We're just a little bit better than the interest rates for a normal bank at the time. We agreed to a 30-year term and then a 5-year balloon payment. So these terms really worked for us and we didn't have to go qualify the traditional route. But remember, again, all the terms are negotiable. So another creative finance strategy that's really popular is subject to. And subject to is basically a strategy where the investor takes ownership of a property subject to the existing mortgage. Essentially, the investor takes over the mortgage payments without obtaining a new loan or paying off the existing mortgage. So the mortgage stays in the name of the seller, but the new owner gets title. This allows the investor to acquire a property with little to no down payment and also without going through the traditional loan process, which is huge for investors who don't have established credit or don't have that, work experience to qualify for a conventional loan. It's also a very attractive option for sellers who are really motivated to sell their properties quickly because it does allow owner to transfer ownership to avoid the cost of foreclosure or something like a short sale. So a third creative option to consider is a lease option, also sometimes known as rent to own. This is when the buyer, you, can rent out the property for a set period of time and have the option to buy the property at a predetermined price after a predetermined time. So this allows you to rent a property with the end goal of actually owning it. These are a little bit harder to find, I found, but you can try searching Zillow and using the keywords like rent to own, or there are also some Facebook groups that are specific to rent to own deals. Learning about creative finance can help real estate investors open up so many different possibilities and opportunities for investing without having to go the conventional route, which does require typically larger down payments and also things like work experience, credit, all that sort of good stuff. So it can also help you get creative with your deals and you find unique win-win solutions for both you and the seller. It is important to note, however, that creative financing strategies require a really good understanding of the real estate market and the specific strategies that you're using. So do your due diligence, research your options, and seek the advice of experienced real estate investors in this field that have done these types of deals, and self-educate yourself with books, podcasts, and YouTube videos like this one to fully understand the concepts. If you need a book to start out with, you can try Brandon Turner's book, Investing in Real Estate with No or Low Money Down. So this leads me to my final and favorite tip and tactic that I were to do if I was starting from scratch and had $0 to invest in. I would find a mentor. So find a mentor in whatever field you're interested in, whether it's flipping, long-term rentals, short-term rentals, etc., and try your best to learn alongside them. This can be hard to find the right person in the beginning, but if you can find the right person, it can catapult you in your real estate portfolio the quickest. So finding a mentor in real estate can be a great way to learn from someone who has experience in the industry and can offer that kind of valuable guidance and advice throughout the process. If you're looking for a mentor, attend industry events and conferences, join real estate groups, for example, of the local RIAs. If you just Google search RIEA, I think it's how you spell it. There's local ones in pretty much all markets. And just connect with other professionals who are interested in doing what you want to do in real estate. This will help you really build relationships and just find someone who might be willing to mentor you. It's also important to note that you sometimes have to pay to play, especially if you're looking for knowledge and time from a seasoned, successful investor who has limited time. So you can pick up a part-time job wholesaling. You can offer to work for someone for free. You can offer to help manage properties to get exposed to real estate, and then use some of that side hustle money to then attend real estate conferences. You can take courses like mine, or you can attend workshops, anything that helps you just further increase your education in real estate. You can also use social media platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook to connect with investors in your area or your niche and create real, genuine connections, because honestly, real estate is a people business. It's all about the relationships. And so if you can build a good relationship with an experienced investor, they'd be more willing to want to help you out. It is important to note as well that finding a mentor in real estate takes time and it takes effort on your end, so don't be afraid to reach out to multiple people, attend various events, and find the right mentor for you. Make sure to be respectful of their time and expertise and be willing to offer something in return. So maybe assistance with their tasks, taking on small projects, managing their social media, creating solutions for them in their business for free just to get started, get your foot in the door. Finding a mentor can also lead to partnerships. So you may not have the expertise or the money, but you do bring something to the table, and it's important to recognize that. You have eagerness and you have time. So you can partner with a mentor or more experienced person, you bring the sweat equity, and they bring some of the money, and you learn along the way. So these are just a few, but really important tips to help you save up money and get started investing in real estate with, zero or low money down. But remember, the key here is to stay disciplined and stay focused with your goal. It's going to take hard work and dedication, but if you put that hard work and dedication in, you can achieve your dreams of becoming a real successful real estate investor. So there you have it. There are my top tips for if I had to start over from scratch with zero money or experience, what I would do to start all over again. It's all about making smart financial choices, building strong financial habits, finding mentors who can guide you, and then also educating yourself on all the different strategies of investing, including creative financing options. And who knows, maybe in a few years, you'll be sitting in front of the camera sharing your success stories with others as well. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which tips you're going to start implementing today, and I'll see you all in next week's video.